Hey, my name is Mir and I'm doing this EDU program campaign survey tutorial on behalf of caniscomputers.com, and here we go. First thing before you do anything, you need to remember that you need to record all these calls in any format that you can in an audio format, and the only calls that need to be uploaded to a server are the calls that are either transferred or the calls that are qualified and you can get them to fill out a form. Alright, first off is the Excel sheet, which has all the names and the contact information on it. Some things that you might notice is the Excel sheet might be like this and you cannot see their phone numbers. So what you need to do is you need to grab this I and drag it and make it bigger so you can see the all the format of it. So you can see the phone number. Get the phone number, remember the name, first name and the last name, and go back to your script. You start off by saying, "Hey, my name is Amir and I'm calling you today from National College Interviewer. I was just calling you today to see if you might be interested in a free advising session regarding continuing your education online anywhere in the country, anywhere in America to be specific." And then once the person says yes, he is interested, you go on and you open up this link if you haven't done so already. Once you open up this link, it's going to ask you for the user ID, which is EDU, and the password is listed right here. You copy and you paste the password and you log in. Once you log in, you see a form that looks somewhat like this. Alright, you see the form? Alright, now your job is to ask them a few questions. The first question you need to ask them is, before I can transfer you, um, would you be interested in furthering your education online? And if he says yes or no, if he says no, the only rebuttal that you really have is tell them that this will take less than 5 minutes of their time, and sometimes they might be interested. If they're not interested, then you just end the call right there. And then you tell them that before I can transfer you, I just need to ask you a few questions, which will take less than a minute. All right. And if he says yes, then you go on. If he says no, then you tell them that the only way that that a student can be that a student can be transferred is if he meets these qualifications. Sometimes the customers say yes, sometimes the customers say no. So what you need to do is you need to remember the customer's name and repeat it over and over again as you are going through the script, so they know that you know their name, and it makes a one-on-one. It makes the customer feel like you care about them. First question you ask them is, are you 18 years of age or older? If they say yes, you go on. If they say no, you simply hang up. After that question, the next question is, are you a legal U.S. citizen? If they say yes, you go on. If they say no, then you need to hang up because they cannot enroll in a school because they will need a social security number, and if they're not here legally, they don't have a social security number which is legal or valid. And the last question you just need to ask them is, hey, you are interested in continuing your education online, right? And most of the time, if they say yes, then um, you tell them that if they are interested, you just make yourself a little note and just tell the advisor that they are interested. And if they say they're not sure, then um, just tell them that um, the advisor can tell you the pros and the cons, meaning the goods and the bad of this campaign, or I mean, excuse me, not this campaign, about continuing education online. And on top of that, then you ask them, about what are they willing to study in school. All right. Now that you are about right here, you go back to your college lead generation form, and in the agent form, you find your agent form. So your name is Joy Bata. All right. You enter the customer's first name. Say his first name is Joe. You enter their last name. His name is Biden. All right. The email address is Joe B at test.com. Their address is 12 whatever at test. Email addresses. Their second address is 222 tests on tester, and the city they live in is in test. And their state, just choose a state. whatever the state is. Zip code is dot 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 whatever 6 digit zip code. Country USA. Mostly are USA. We don't want Canada. I mean, we don't want, not that we don't want Canadian people. That most of our leads, I would guess 99% of them are American leads. These, all the ones with the stars are a must. You probably know that. Get their daytime phone number, get their evening phone number, and ask them, what's the highest level of education they have. It can be a GED, a high school diploma, a they might be in college, they might be done, they might have done a little bit of college, or if they have, a master's. If they have a bachelor's, that means that they have college education done. A bachelor's is mostly a college, a master, and a doctorate. All right, and then you ask them what are the areas of interest. Whatever the areas of interest is, you click the drop down menu and it will give you a list. You choose the one they want, and then once you click submit, it will give you a lead ID. And the lead ID will be useful later on, and I will get to that a little later. All right. Then the next question you ask is, do you currently have a GED, or do you have a GED or a high school diploma? If they say yes, then you go on. If they say no, then you have to end the call, because there's no point in them going to taking college courses if they don't have a GED or a high school diploma. And then ask them, are you currently enrolled in any college? If they say yes, then you have to hang up, because they cannot go to two colleges at once. If they say no, then you can go on. And lastly, tell them that if you if they are if they do find a school that they like, do they think that they can start the online courses within the next 90 days? If they say yes, you go on, and if they say no, then you have to hang up. All right, after that you say great, thank you very much. um, if you don't mind, I will submit your form, and I can put you on hold for about 30 seconds while I get the advisor on the other line, and I will transfer you to the advisor. For the advisor, um, basically what you do is take this number here or this number here, whichever one floats your boat, and call that number up. And while you have the customer on hold, introduce yourself to this agent. Say, my name is Joe Griffin, and the lead ID is. You get the lead ID at the end when you submit the form. When you submit this form right here, you get the lead ID. You tell them the lead ID, and once that is done, you bring the customer back in line and you introduce customer to the advisor, and then tell the customer, hey, good luck. And that's when you connect the customer to the client, or the customer to the advisor, and then you hang up. And that there, buddy, your job is done. And at the end of that call, make sure that you record the calls, and you keep only the calls that are either transferred or the calls that let you fill the form out. If they don't let you fill the form out, then there's no point in keeping the calls. All right, and this is about it. And after that, you go to the next lead, the next person on your list, and so on and so forth. And one more point I want to raise out to you is that sometimes it might be hard to get people, but mostly it shouldn't be that hard. If you try your best, that's all that matters. Alright, keep up the good work. Take care, and this video has been brought to you by CanadaComputers.com. Thank you very much, and good luck.